the opening there and didn't get it. The game fucking crashed! You cannot make this shit up, dude!
Oh god! Oh god!
This fucking session has been
sucks on
so
ice.
dog shit, dude. The game fucking crashed!
A dud!
Ah! Fucking
It's
Jesus.
a world record!
Come on, dude! You cannot be serious! I'm gonna fucking sit on the toilet and piss straight up into my own face! God! God damn it, dude!
A dud! Oh god! Oh god! This sucks on ice.
I can't fucking believe that! I mean, I can absolutely believe that. But, like, seriously, all this shit today, and the game crashed? It crashed? You crashed on me! Dude, fucking hell. That is mad! The game crashed. Is my hardware okay? No, it's a bug with the game. I tried to open the car door at the same time that Harry's, like, voice line plays.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It wasn't a console issue, the game's just bad. I know why that happened. I've just never done it before. Is the PS... Again, I just said it's not a hardware issue. It's a bug with the game. Kingdom Hearts 2? It's not out on Steam yet! You gotta wait until it's out on Steam! Now I'm playing Kingdom Hearts 2 on my fucking Android. Little
I'm glad you
tablet
came.
bastard thing.
Just turning up shows your commitment to the process. Good.
I got Dance Dance Revolution Disney
I've read
Mix.
your notes. The other therapist didn't work out.
Do you have Dance Dance Revolution Disney Mix? I did not
want you
think
to know This will
so.
be different. We take this at your pace. No notes, no drugs, no theories.
Game Boy again. It fucking crashed.
We go back to the
It
start.
crashed. The game
Understand
crashed.
what happened. Take a look at this short form. I promise it's the only one you'll see during your therapy. Try to answer truthfully. It's easier that way.
I haven't even managed to, like, can you blame me? You know, like, I haven't even managed to finish a run today. But when shit like that is happening, holy shit, like, can you blame me? Oh my god.
Cheated on a partner, really?
Honestly, that might as well happen today.
Let's get started then.
Crashed. The game crashed. Fuck it, I'm not over that. That's unreal. It's like the funniest thing it could possibly have done.
Cheryl. Cheryl.
Super Lesbian Anime RPG is minus 30%, 35% off on Steam right now. It is, yeah. Actually, there's a bunch of games in that I'd recommend. Steam is doing an Anthro Festival. They're doing a little event about furry games, which is very funny. Never thought I'd see the day.
Cheryl.
There are like 5 different games on sale as a result of that I would recommend. Super Lesbian Animal RPG is on sale. It's a very good turn-based JRPG. Both the Fuga Melodies of Steel games are on sale. They're also very good turn-based RPGs, but of a completely different variety. They're about being sad. Whereas Super Lesbian RPG is about being gay.
Sweetie.
And both the Freedom Planet games are on sale. The second one, I worked on. So, you know, buy it. It's the game that the streamer had a hand in. Why haven't you played it? If you're like, huh? Are you a real fan? Are you a punchy head? Don't call yourself that. The one furry roguelike 2D game? The Fuga game, if you mean the Fuga games, they're not roguelikes. If you mean something else, then I don't know what you mean. No, you're a fraud. Well, become not a fraud and buy and play Freedom Planet 2. The console refresh is what I needed.
Cheryl.
Because, yeah, I worked on Freedom Planet 2 for like 3 years. So... that is a game that very much has a little bit of me in it. You have audio low, Freedom Planet? Yeah, Freedom Planet 2 is a game I worked on for 3 years. I was involved in it. I am closely associated with its developer. I'm not a formal employee, I have to stress. But, like, we're friends, you know? What kind of work did I do? QA, as is the speedrunner's specialty. I'm the guy you should blame when things bug the fuck out. If you find a bug, I mean, don't tell me about it, because, like, we're kind of done. You know, like, we're done. Yeah. We should blame Will. Do not blame Will.
Cheryl.
So wait, punched you 4 years and didn't know?
Sweetie.
I only worked on
okay?
2.
Are you at home?
I didn't work on Freedom Planet 1.
Sweetie, wait there. Wait for me.
You have to run, Daddy. You can't
No, don't blame Will.
run.
What? Is somebody with you?
He worked very hard over those years.
I'm coming to get you. Damn it.
Speedrun QA, I found this bug that lets me complete the game in under 30 minutes, so we should keep it in. There were definitely conversations like that. You used to be able to skip one of the courtyard fights, because if you went really, really fast, you could move past it before, like, the lock kicked in that would stop you from advancing past that point, and I was like, that's kind of funny. But they were like, we're not keeping that. And I was like, but it's kind of funny. No, we're not keeping it. Okay. Fair enough. And then it turned out there was actually still a way to do it in Final anyway. Oof. Anyone dare say we designed the game to be speedrun? I have a complicated relationship with that as a speedrunner and a game dev. Like, Freedom Planet 2 was... It was kind of designed to be speedrun. Like, it has a time attack mode, obviously. Like, it grades... It doesn't grade you. The ranking system doesn't do anything with time. But, like, it keeps track of your best times, you know? It keeps track of your best times. There are a couple of achievements related to time attacking. But also, it's not really made to pander to the speedrun crowd. We provide the tools, and then we, like, leave, you know? Like, you guys figure out the rest.
Leave that topic for a while. I want to talk about family. It's important, right?
Hey, Elenko.
I don't mean all that touchy-feely crap. You're not a very touchy-feely person. You're giving me that look.
Like, I am a speedrunner. So obviously I have, like, above-average interest in the scene.
Let's have you talk, or not, or whatever you feel comfortable.
But, I'm kind of the outlier in that regard. The rest of the... Like, they made a relatively speedrunning-focused, friendly... Just as a consequence of trying to create fun, fluid movement that's fast. Because, you know, it's a game about where the thrill of moving quickly is part of the appeal even to the novice player.
People can choose their friends, but not their family.
But at the same time, we don't really pay much attention to what's going on in the speedrun scene. Like, we're not really trying to, like, committee craft a route that makes the game look the best that it can.
Now, you're going to like this. On the table are some pencils and a picture. I want you to let out
It facilitates speedrunning,
color in the picture.
but it's not made for speedrunners. It's just kind of a natural consequence of the type of game that it is. Which is not to say that it's not cool, and that we don't like it, but also, it wasn't really, like, specifically made with that sort of consultation in mind. In fact, by the achievements in the game that do exist for, like, getting certain time attacks, they're pretty lenient, and they were made that way on purpose.
You know what's fun?
I wanted dev times.
I've been a cop in this town
I wanted to
for
add
20
dev
years.
times to the game. I wanted to do,
Before
like,
that,
a
I
Crash
used to ride
Bandicoot
around
thing
my
and
dad's
say, like,
patrol
why don't we
car,
have,
so
like,
I
dev
know the
times?
town, know the people.
And they were like,
But your face?
no.
I don't know you.
Stop
Keep
it.
out of trouble.
Not tonight.
Well, I guess tonight everything is out of whack.
Oh, that would be funny.
Why are we the only car
If
on
you,
the
like,
road?
really hard, it's like, you're, like,
No one's
you do this as...
saying out driving tonight.
Speedrunning is your profession. Stop it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's okay. What is with all this snow?
Who knows? We only covered basic meteorology.
I think
at
it
the
turned out
academy.
well, in the end,
Hell,
at
we
least.
didn't hear about this till it was
I think
happening.
Freedom Planet 2
Barely
came
had
out
time
really
to
well.
close off the major
Which,
highways.
you know, mostly had nothing to do with me,
Like
for what it's worth.
all
I was just the guy who was making sure all the bits
Weather.
worked together.
Sure.
I didn't actually, like, really make... You know, I'm not an artist, nor am I a programmer. I don't really do anything of that nature. The one part of... Well, there are a few parts of the game, I guess. Because, you know, a lot of things
You're very
reactive to
restless back
feedback.
there,
But
Mr.
the one
Mason.
part of the
Anything you
game
wanna
that
tell
didn't
me?
exist that I specifically
Restless?
blueprinted,
Of course I'm restless. I'm
with the
working on
hope
my
of
daughter.
solving a design problem, was the ranking system.
She's 7 and she's out there in this blizzard.
Because Freedom Planet 2 gives you, like, a
Sorry, I
letter
didn't
grade
mean
at the
to.
end of a stage,
Hurry
depending
up
on
and
the
get us to the
combination of
station.
items that you use. If you pick items that make the game harder, you get a better rank.
This weather's just
That
unbelievable.
didn't exist, like, at all.
Damn.
For a good few years of development. I proposed the system
see
because I
exactly
was
where we
turning
are.
the idea around in my head a
Stay
lot.
put.
Because previously, picking a harder item used to just give you more money, and you run out of stuff to do with money past, like, past a certain point in the game. You run out of things to do with the in-game currency kind of quickly, especially if you're not that interested in 100% completion. So I thought, okay, that's not, like, an amazing incentive for people to, like, try and challenge themselves on the replay, you know? How do we incentivize people to come back and play? And I thought, make a rating system. A lot of people assumed it was inspired by Sonic. No, it was inspired by Resident Evil. You know how Resident Evil docks you points for using bonus items? That's where that came from. Because notably, Freedom Planet 2's ranking system doesn't actually rank time at all. it's not looking at that. It's looking at the items you used. If you use items that make the game harder, you get more rank point. If you don't, then you don't. That's it. That's the only thing it's looking at. It's actually quite straightforward. The point being was to try and incentivize people to pick items that challenge themselves so they can get a funny letter grade on their profile. And it totally worked. I'm not sure it's the most elegant system, math-wise. It sort of confuses people with some regularity, but it totally did serve its purpose. Because I do very often see people posting their pictures of stage completions like, oh, I managed to get the S rank in this level. I got the rainbow S rank. There was a rainbow S rank. It was a hidden rank. The game doesn't advertise that it exists in any way, but it turns out the only way to get it, just as a natural consequence of how the math ended up working out, was to equip the item that makes it so you die in one hit. So if you can clear a stage under those conditions, you get a rainbow S rank. And we see people pursuing the rainbow S's. I'm like, nice. Nice. My job here is done. It's a small thing. It's a small piece of the system. But it's nice that it, like, worked as I wanted it to. It added that replayability I thought the game needed. Miss. There's rainbow? Yes, there's a rainbow rank. If you equip the one-hit kill stone and another stone that gives, like, the maximum bonus, I forget what it is. There's multiple options here. And complete under those conditions without getting hit, then you get Rainbow S rank. You're not going back for that? That's reasonable. There's a reason it's a hidden rank. Like, the game doesn't allude to its existence, and we don't have an achievement for it. We were perfectly content to just ask for the S ranks, but the Rainbow S, we were like, that might be a bridge too far. Let's make it a secret. Let's make it a secret for the, like, the truly hardcore players, but we don't gotta put that in, like, the core functionality. That'll drive people fucking crazy. That's a philosophy that most of us shared. Which is funny, because, like, I am a challenge gamer, like, I do the speedruns, I do the hardcore stuff. You think I'd be in the sort of the ballpark camp of people who would like creating absurdly difficult challenges for people, but, people tend to like when the 100% completions from the achievement sets aren't, like, completely ball-bustingly nuts, you know? Now, some people like it when there's crazy-ass challenges in the achievement set, but generally the philosophy of the team is that we kind of like the achievement set to be more an exploration. Like, it thoroughly... If you get all the achievements in that game, you have definitely thoroughly seen all there is to see. You know, you've comprehensively explored the game systems. From there on, if you want to do batshit challenges, that's kind of your own deal. We have definitely given the tools to facilitate batshit challenge runs, but we're not going to ask you to do them. That's kind of opt-in. Like, that's your business. Yeah, it has to seem vaguely approachable to make people, like, want to do the 100%, you know? If you scan through the list and there's some bullshit like complete the whole game without getting hit, a lot of people will just, like, not even do the half and half, you know? You think, oh, you could just do everything but not do the batshit challenge. But, like, a lot of people will see that that's in the list and then just not even, like, go for 99%, you know? This is just this is just how people think. There's player psychology to this. And you kind of want people, you know, to see more of your game. People like to either just complete the game, no fuss, no muss, any percentage style, or they like to do one... This is the reason why speedruns have any percent and 100%. We don't do 80%. people think the same way. Like, even normal people think the same way. Because finishing a game is satisfying. 100% is satisfying. The middle ground feels like it's missing, you know? You feel like you're missing something. That's not satisfying. I should grab the flare. I might get crab going through. I'll live with that. I'm gonna activate. That's like a super early activation, but I was probably gonna get grabbed a second time, and I would not have liked it. Wonder how many had that reaction to the True Millennium Tower and Like a Dragon. That was like hardcore DLC before, but it got rolled into the main set when the game was re-released in English, which was probably a mistake. Because, yeah, the True Millennium Tower is fucking crazy hard. Such is the philosophy of achievement design. Because nowadays a lot of people use an achievement set like a sort of... I hesitate to use the word checklist, because that feels vaguely insulting, but a lot of people use it like a checklist for 100%, you know? In the absence of an in-game percentage counter, that's what they're going to use. That was actually pretty good. I know I lost time, but that's fine. You enjoyed the hotfix, learned a ton of interesting stuff about the run. Glad to hear it. I thought that run had good energy, honestly. This is why modern I think this philosophy is relatively common in modern game development. And I kind of agree with it. At least, you know, pragmatically speaking, I agree with it, at least. Maybe not philosophically, but pragmatically. It's why modern achievement lists, you don't tend to see, like, the crazy shit that you used to back in the 360 days when the system was just first getting started. Where they would ask completely crazy... Like, some of the early achievements in 360 games are fucking bonkers. Because, like, no one had any idea how to balance them.
Officer?
Harry, I've been calling you. Did you switch your phone off?
No, I just...
Like Gears of War asking you to get an incredibly large number of kills in the online
Harry,
multiplayer.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm out of the woods. I'm on a football field. I think it's the high school.
Midwich High School. Listen, Harry, Midwich
Because, you know,
has
back then
a gym.
achievements were
They often use it as an
achievements,
emergency
you know?
shelter in severe weather.
They were
Go to
balanced
the
under
gym
the
and wait
idea
there
that
for me.
they would not, in
Emergency
fact,
shelter.
be possible to get for a lot of people.
Yes, Cheryl could be there.
And some
Will you
people
do
still
this
like
for
that
me?
philosophy,
I'm
but
going.
we must admit, we
If
must,
Cheryl's not there, I can't wait.
as
I'm
designers,
sorry, I
we
just
must
can't.
face the idea that, honestly, people don't really use it that way anymore. They see a list, they'll probably want to complete it.
So we get to the halcyon days of high school. When I was starting out, the popular theory said it was their mom and
You know,
dad
if they
who
like
screwed
the
things
game,
up.
they'll try to
But if
complete
you
the
really wanna
achievements.
screw someone up,
So you
I
probably
say,
don't want to balance them to be
sympathize.
completely fucked.
I bet you took studying seriously. Nice
Unless you're
photos,
like that, I
neat
guess.
workbooks.
You know?
Okay, let's move on. I'm going to throw out some words. Nod when they fit how you were at school. Shake your head if they don't. Ready? Jock.
Obviously, there's all kinds of, like, schools of thought about this, but that's kind of the philosophy of a lot of modern games, and it's, by and large, the philosophy that
Drunk.
influenced the
Ah,
specifics of
virgin.
Freedom Planet 2's achievement set. Even though that game could be more challenging in its set, we could ask you to do the Rainbow S ranks. We could ask you to, like,
And
beat much faster times,
slacker.
but we didn't,
Okay.
because we didn't want
Let's take
to force.
a different tack.
We don't
On
want to
the
force
table,
people to
I've
put in
laid
like
out a
fucking
blank
60 hours to
timetable and some
complete the set.
cards with lessons on them.
Just
Pick out
didn't
the
seem
lessons
reasonable.
To show me your perfect school day. Don't leave any empty. There are only 4 periods, and I've allocated a very generous lunch.
Like, not there's anything wrong with highly challenging achievements.
Done. nice.
But again, it's just a
That was
philosophical
all there
difference.
was to it.
You see
It
the
wasn't
schism a lot
serious,
actually on the modern retro achievements website,
Let's talk
which I have been poking lately.
stuff that happened.
You definitely see the gap between people who think one way or the other way. Because the site was definitely founded on, like, the former principle of, like, achievements are things that only a handful of people might be able to get. They are for the truly hardcore player, because obviously these are people who are deciding to add challenge runs to fucking old NES games. They're crazy. These are people who are very experienced and are looking for, like, hard proof that they have done some bullshit. But over time, the site has become more popular, so it's grown in user base by people who are more used to sort of the modern list of achievement style, where it's sort of more like a comprehensive overview of a game, with occasional dalliances into the batshit. There's a whole litany of achievements on that website, for instance, for Super Mario 64 for collecting every coin in a level. That generated so many complaints that it got, like, moved out of the normal set into, like, a different sub-thing that you have to opt into. Because people hated that they had to do it. Well, they felt as though they had to do it to complete the set. Because it's a very popular game, Mario 64, so it's a good, like, sort of case study for poking around at what people think about this kind of thing. Hey, JRX. Ugh. Excuse me. Clearly I have thought entirely too hard about this topic, incidentally. There's a full set for SM64 speedrun times? I know. What's really funny is that it's such a popular game and people are so... Like, most people are unable to assail that in the slightest, that the speedrun set for Mario 64 is worth an absurd amount of, like, ratio. Because they calculate, like, they have a ratio for, like, the rarity of a given achievement, which balloons by the number of people who've tried it versus the number of people who actually got it. And the ratio on that one is so lopsided that that set by itself is worth, like, 3 million. Which, for scale, the average achievement on that website is worth 5. Is funny. But it's interesting to think about. It takes less than an hour. True. Someone who's done ring attacks in Sonic? Yeah, fuck that shit. Ring attacks seem unpleasant, yes. It is in that genre of challenge. Do I have world record for any other game? I hate saying this because it makes me sound really conceited, but also I love saying it because it's true. I have so many world records, I don't count them anymore. I lost track. The number also fluctuates a lot. Hey, Droy, Giga Chat. You could go to my speedrun.com profile, Control F for first, and, like, see the number that pops out. I have world record in my street. I actually don't! Someone beat the time! The NTSC version apparently loads faster, so bullshit. Also, one of the guys is, like, playing on an emulator, and it's one of those fucking leaderboards that makes no distinction, which is horseshit. Like, come on, guys. How is this not common knowledge by now? Do I still have the world record for Uno? Unfortunately, yes. I mean, NTSC copy? I think it's an NTSC copy that makes it. It might just be my copy of the game. Because it is old. But all I know is that, like, I compared the load times of the record, the console record anyway, against mine, and the dude is saving, like, multiple seconds every single load, and that really adds up very fast. Down input. What the fuck, game? If the game would register my button inputs, I might be able to get through this faster. That was good RNG, too. Very good RNG. The questions were quick.
Shit.
Koyos, thank you for the 72 months of Prime Gaming. Are there a lot of contenders to the Uno World Record title? No. Because a lot of... So, the way that leaderboard used to exist is that the time that was on it didn't even finish the game. Because, like, it's a Japanese-only game, right? And the person who made the leaderboard doesn't read Japanese, I think. So they didn't realize that the campaign mode of that game even had an ending. So when I showed up and was like, here's a 4-hour run, you didn't actually finish the
There's a
game.
phone number. Why don't you call it?
So now there's no one on the board but me, I think.
There's no reception. I'll be outside.
Good luck.
45 world record. Is that how many pops up when you type first
Yes.
into the
Cheryl?
No,
my profile
Dahlia.
page?
You want me to find her? Who's calling?
It's her father, Harry Mason. Is she okay?
That number's being inflated by House of the Dead 3.
Who the hell
No, it
do you
isn't.
think you are?
Well, yes.
Sorry, what's
Because,
the...
like, House of the Dead 3 has too many categories. But also, like, no, it's not being inflated. No, I do actually have world records in that game. Like, 3 of them, I think, are actually... The thing about that is that I feel like I don't actually have record in a couple of key House of the Dead 3 categories because they split the leaderboard by console. Or by version, because, like, I play the PC version, and a lot of the Wii times are faster. Not because the Wii version is faster, they're just better. And I was like, I don't really feel like I have, like... You know what I mean? It's like, I don't really think the version split was entirely necessary. So it makes me look like I have more records than I think I actually do. But then there's a couple of categories where I actually do just have the record anyway. Like, even without version split, they're just, my times are a little bit faster. So I guess it's not being inflated by that much. I'm gonna stick to the left. You can't stop me. They stopped me. This is the worst day of my life. Get the fuck out of the way! They can stop me! Rah. Man, there's a guy over there to my left. Oh, and the fucking bullshit teleport. Fuck off. They can't stop me. And then they were stopped. Sometimes I forget with all the, like, the teleporting around that you do when you grab ledges and pick up stuff or whatever. It's really easy to forget that, like, the enemies do actually have physical collision. That is really not the ideal place to use a flare, by the way. Because I'm gonna get fucking grabbed. Going through here, most likely. There's gonna be dudes. Unless I'm lucky, which... Who knows? Where are the dudes? Who knows? There no dudes? Dudeless? Are we dudeless? Dudeless. Not great though, but good enough for now. It gets to continue. It's the furthest a run's gotten
Harry?
today.
I was about to head off.
It's been
Thought I
such an
would've waited a little
embarrassing
longer.
session.
Thanks.
You okay? Any luck with the phone?
They didn't make any sense. I need to go there.
The Simmons Street address? That's the other side of town.
You got a car?
I was planning on getting a ride with John. There's my boss's SUV. Yeah, I'm looking after it while she's on vacation. It's at the club where I work, not far from here.
Do cars need
I could give you a
babysitting?
lift.
That would be great. Lead the way. You want my jacket? You're going to freeze.
I'm used to running around in a dress. I'm too hot-blooded to feel the cold.
I feel bad, you're sure?
Yeah, keep it. You're the car crash guy. You thinking about your daughter?
Constant.
I'm sure she's okay.
So her gameplay trailer dropped early? Did it
She was
now?
in the back sleeping, then the crash. She was gone.
Your head is still jumbled up, Harry. Just give it a while, okay? You should go see a doctor.
I'll make sure Cheryl is safe, then worry about myself.
Hey Mallow, you're here now. What'd you miss? You missed me crashing the game. You've missed a session where nothing has worked right, and then I crashed the game. I've had instances of losing runs to the other world transitions just not working. Like, normally, you know, how everything goes frozen and then you get chased. Everything gets frozen and then it just doesn't. It just didn't work. It happens. It's a bug with the game, but, like, it's kind of rare, so... Man, I had an issue where I got stuck and just couldn't jump down a ledge because the context-sensitive button prompt to jump just did not appear. It just wouldn't show up.
I need to decide if I'm going to move out there with him.
And then, after all that,
Yeah.
I crashed the game.
Well,
So-
I love Massachusetts so much, but I want to be with John.
Very cool.
And John?
Oh, he wants it too. It's just hard.
Having a
We've been
great
together
day.
for 5 years, but we never
I'm in a
lived together.
good mood. I
Now
actually
we're
am
out
in a
in the
good mood,
world,
despite everything.
Living our lives.
Despite
Lucky
everything.
guy.
Yeah.
He's probably just lousy at showing.
I kind of am in a good
No
mood.
way.
I don't think the runs are panning out
Sometimes you
today,
feel
but
it.
I'm in high
John's not like
spirits.
that.
That will very quickly
was
stop
very
being the
passionate.
case when I have to stop streaming and
Say
go to
absence
work.
Makes the heart grow fonder.
You believe that?
Absolutely.
This is why the streamer should get a square 8 hours of sleep. Because then even when the runs are shit, I'm still in a good mood. Yeah, sometimes the session is just fucking dreadful, you know? Like, what are you gonna do? Sometimes, games suck. And there's simply nothing you can do about it.
We're the only people on the road.
What's in the glove box?
Because that means we don't have to
Nothing.
suffer
There's not
any
even
lives.
gloves in here. You can't really call it a glove box with no
Alright,
gloves in it, can
screw
you? It's
that.
just
Let's cut up on Kincaid.
box.
You're very quiet there, Harry. You're not gonna be sick, are you?
Whatever, man.
I think I'm losing my mind.
What?
How long have you known me?
I don't know. A few years?
I don't know you. I can't remember you. Since the car crash, nothing is making sense.
Don't do this to me, Harry. Don't start tripping out on me. When you said you crashed your car, you didn't mention this. Damn, are you in pain?
No pain. And I can remember most things. Just sometimes.
Which version do I recommend for a first Shattered Memories playthrough? PS2 or Wii? It's a complicated question. The game is designed around the Wii gimmick, but I also don't really think it works that well.
Sid and Nancy?
Who are Sid and Nancy?
My tits? You named
I
them?
don't know.
We're sleeping together?
This is a joke, right? A really lame joke.
I wish it was.
Because I actually found this game really, really frustrating. Like, I didn't touch this game for almost a year after my first playthrough because I played the Wii version first and I found it so irritating to deal with the motion controls that I just wrote the game off entirely. It's only when I replayed it on the PSP that I was like, okay, I'm starting to see the picture. You know, I wouldn't say I became a fan or anything like that, but I began to sort, you know, the gameplay made more sense to me when you were able to deal with enemies by pushing the button rather than flailing and it not working, you know? Because I just found that really annoying.
Bridge is ready. So you know me. You know my daughter too? Why is this not freaking you out? Me not knowing?
Yeah, the thing is, I'm biased. I hate the Wii.
This isn't the first
I hate the
time.
Wii. I hate everything about the Wii. I hate the
does that
system.
mean?
I hate
Be
the
straight with me.
controller.
Stop.
I hate most of its
You know my
library.
daughter.
I hate the
know
Wii.
of her. Let's not go there.
So what are you to me?
Why do you have to be like this? Just leave things be, Harry. Harry?
Dahlia!
Gamer arms too weak to flail around. I do not know how to consistently get it to register an input for shoving enemies off you or knocking down a cabinet. Like, during chase segments when enemies jump on you, you gotta, like, you know, knock them off. On the PS2 version, it's as easy as just pressing a button. On the Wii version, you need to, like, shove in the direction, but, like, I could never get this input to work properly. I never got it. What? And another thing, you gotta put fucking batteries in the Wiimote. I don't have batteries lying around all the time. Back in my day, the console just plugged into the fucking, put the controller into the console and that. Where's the flashlight? There it is. I managed to record those movements from Wiimote. You can use it on Dolphin and it worked every time. Well, yeah, if you're able to get perfect inputs every time, I imagine it would fucking work. Smart ass. The problem is that it's very difficult to get an input the game agrees with out of the physical Wiimote every time. Nice.
Nasty, but inevitable.
I'm going back to bed.
Everyone is going to die, even if we like to pretend otherwise. You could die tonight, in your sleep.
I could die in my sleep?
Doesn't that terrify you?
Ah!
How would you like to die? No, wait, let me guess. You'd want to die surrounded by friends. It's academic, really, as we're only truly conscious of death when it happens to others. Get to my age, you'll have seen plenty of people.
Make sure you hate the Wii only or Nintendo in general.
Then,
Kind of both.
okay, game time. There are 7
I have a virulent dislike of Nintendo as a company, and by and large, people who very strongly associate with it. Like, Nintendo fans are the K-pop stans of gaming. They're completely unreasonable and they don't function like real people.
Done. It's just an exercise. There's no right answer.
But I don't always hate the hardware.
They were all dead.
Always. Not always, at least.
Let's get back to it.
Switch is alright. The Switch has video games. But I also kind of resent the Switch for killing off handheld gaming. But what are you saying, Punchy? It's a home console that you can take in. But, like, I mean, games made for handhelds stopped existing because of the Switch.
A girl.
But, like, by contrast, I'm a big DS guy. I'm pointing at my shelf of DS games. It's off camera, you can't see it.
This is a different girl?
You must have seen the bridge.
But, like, I like the
Right off the
DS. I'm a
side.
big DS guy.
Harry, the bridge has been closed since the storm started. You swam. You could have died of hypothermia.
My clothes.
You were soaked to the skin. I grabbed what I could find here.
Basically, I guess the divide is
need
that
to
I like
talk.
Nintendo's handheld consoles,
When I was at the station,
and not
I
really
pulled
so
the
much their
file
home
on Harry
consoles.
Mason.
And I guess that puts the Switch in a weird place to me, because, like, it's kind of a handheld, but kind of not, and it kind of killed the strata of game that I liked. Because, again, I'm not much of a, like, I'm not big on Nintendo's own franchises. Like, I do not give a shit about Mario, I do not give a shit about Zelda, I do not give a shit about Pikmin. I kind of give a shit about Pokemon, but I think I'm like, pretty on and off about it. Like, I skip every other installment. Favorite DS game? The World Ends With You. By a mile. The World Ends With You is not a game I think is merely good. I think it's basically the perfect game for the system. Like, it's the best DS game, and I would hold to that opinion. Acceptable answers to this question also include Ghost Trick. If you said Ghost Trick, I wouldn't argue. I'm gonna get grabbed. No, or what the fuck are you doing? What is bro cooking? You know how game console is phone, but it's not, because they're all shit. Like, I wish that was true, but it still hasn't, like, really... That strata of, like, middle-tier game development that thrived on the handheld just does not exist on phones. It's not there either. Ma, こんなもんかな。Yeah, I also played the Ghost Trick re-release, and it's very good. It's a very good re-release. So if you have a modern console or a PC, you can play Ghost Trick. Hell, it was even ported to phone, and it's still good on phone. I know I just said that, like, the phone didn't really maintain that type of mid-strata development that I liked. And that's correct, but sometimes games do still make it to it, I guess. Made it to phones first, I think, actually. But again, core gamers don't really game on phones, and there's a lot of reasons why that's the case. Mid-strata development exists in indie games? Kind of. But the thing is, there's still a fairly large difference between...
Come on.
So, I'm going to reiterate the point.
Please open.
Are you okay?
He's doing it again, guys. Take the case of Pokemon. Pokemon is distinctly not an independent game, right? But the major reason Pokemon has been struggling so hard in the Switch era is that all of a sudden, that mid-budget, handheld-focused series has been suddenly tasked with standing alongside AAA console games like mainline Zelda and Mario installments in, like, sort of the same weight class, when Pokemon has never existed in that weight class. They're not used to it.
Don't worry, it's nothing.
Shouldn't we take you inside?
I'm ready to go home.
Pokemon, like, up to this point has existed entirely on handhelds.
I'm heading that way. Let me walk you. Lisa?
They're like, they're the middle tier, the mid-strata of development, and that's distinctly different from even independent
I'm
games.
Harry.
But even then, independent games represent a big spectrum themselves. Like, there's a big difference between a game made by one dude in his bedroom and whatever the hell game, or like, you know, I don't know, Yacht Club, I guess. People think of Yacht Club as indie, but they have an office in, like, San Fran. I don't know if I don't know how I feel about that.
When I woke woke up, Cheryl was gone.
Is it San Fran or is it Seattle? I don't remember.
She made it all this way?
They
I know
exist
it doesn't
somewhere.
tie
Leave
that
me
up,
alone.
but there are things I can't piece together. But she called me. Then I spoke to someone else on the phone. There are times when things don't feel real. I feel like I'm losing my grasp on the truth of it. But other times
Coliseum and
it
XD
feels-
were not done in-house, and also they looked like shit.
This feels real.
Hey, I'm as real as they come. Though, some patients mistake me for an angel. That's the medication. I'm real, and I've got the bags under my eyes to prove it.
But like, you see what I mean, though, right? Like, that kind of
All the overtime, back-to-back
games that can be
12-hour
developed
shifts.
in big
Compared to
industry
standard 9 to
that don't
5,
cost
I've been in
$10
the
million.
hospital for 40 human years.
The death of the handheld kind of caused the death of that kind of game.
Like tonight, fell asleep at the wheel. Hell of a
Indies
wake-up call.
kind of exist in that gap, but only kind of. And again, that divide was specifically unkind to Pokemon.
I'm fine.
Very unkind.
I just need to get home and put my feet up.
So, your accident. What happened there?
It's all a bit hazy. Need to get my story straight before I call my insurance. They always try and twist it.
You were alone?
Yeah,
And driving?
yes. Now you're trying to trick me.
Not me. I crashed my car, too. I got my own insurance forms to file.
I cannot get
what
this
happened?
anymore, dude. I can't do it.
It kind of feels like I blacked out before the crash.
I think I'm turning too
I
early.
just remember coming to.
I remember coming off the road, then wham. When I came to, I was confused. Cheryl was gone. My car was wrapped around a post.
This is why we're in an age of remakes
This is
and
like being
remasters, but
therapy
not
for
many
car
new
crash
actual
survivors.
entries.
Thanks for sharing, Harry.
Because you can remake and remaster a game and people will accept that just fine, but if you're going to make a new entry in something, it's got to be like the big, glossy budget console game, and a lot of games don't really fit that space. This is why Ace Attorney has been being re-released for fucking decades, but there's no whiff of Ace Attorney 7 anywhere.
You know, last time I had
Because they're handheld games, all of them. Think about it.
during the heat wave. Now it's winter. Freaky early, but still.
The Great Ace Attorney, 3DS. They're all handheld games, all of them. The entire series.
Get up. I thought you were a nice guy. I saw you peeping.
Wait,
You should have been better behaved. Now I don't feel so good. Pop into the bathroom and get me some pills. The red ones in the cabinet.
sure.
But, you know, would people accept a modern Ace Attorney that sort of has a relatively restrained look, budget-wise?
Look in the cabinet.
I think they might, but
Bottom shelf.
it's hard to know.
Oh,
And who knows what Capcom thinks about it, you know? I think the variations I get in my Chapman's run speedruns depend on pure randomness as the game notice microsecond change in the way I play between speedruns. There are no variations in the run. If you play it the same way, you get the same result.
You feel guilty about everything. When we all lived in huts and wore furs, we worried over the simple things. Food, water, whether animals would come and eat us.
The new Layton game, true.
Now we have supermarkets.
Big ups to level 5, they're trying to make a comeback. But again, level 5 kind of went into hibernation for this reason, you know?
More often than not.
Is the World Ends with You best experience on the DS? Absolutely. The Switch version is good for what it is, but the loss of the dual screen gimmick really hurts that game's core theme and its combat.
You beat yourself up with your past.
Yeah, people don't want handheld games on the Switch, they want console games on the go. And that's difficult, because where does the handheld strata go? Where do you put the handhelds now? No one knows. They don't go anywhere.
Okay.
There's no home for that shit.
Let me introduce some
Ah!
friends of mine. This is King Harold. His daughter, the chaste Celestine. A prince called Wilhelm. And a bull. He doesn't have.
Put them as cheap eShop games? You mean like what Square Enix does and then no one buys them? Like Dungeon Encounters?
In love with Celestine,
You see the problem, right?
but she does not love him. One day, Wilhelm comes to the king and asks for Celestine's hand in marriage.
They don't exist in their own market anymore. They're kind of competing for space with all the big dudes, and that's not their place. They don't fight that battle.
They are married, and Wilhelm takes Celestine back with him to his kingdom. That night, he attempts to consummate the marriage, but the distraught Celestine flees.
And again, like I said, this has specifically been very unkind to Pokemon, who is now being forced to fight a battle they do not want to.
In that field is a bull, who, seeing the girl, charges her. She falls under.
I'm sympathetic to them. Like, this doesn't excuse the fucking absolutely horrendous state that some of these games have launched in.
What I want you to do
on phones, how it goes on phones. They don't, though. Those games haven't made it to phones. Phone development is its, like, whole other own toxic nightmare, but it's not a replacement. It's not the same kind of thing. What has happened is that this kind of game has just died.
Done.
It just stopped existing.
You couldn't ignore the fact.
Like, you don't get Bravely Default on phone. You don't get The World Ends With... I mean, they did actually port The World Ends With You on the phone, but the thing is that no one liked it. They hated it being over there.
Let's continue.
They don't make normal games for phones. That's the main thing. The mobile phone ecosystem is such a toxic shit show that you can't make normal games over there. Like, some games get ports, but it's not a thriving ecosystem. Certainly not in the way that, like, the Game Boy Advance was, or the DS was. Or indeed even the PSP. We gotta... Let's take a moment, by the way, to salute the Vita. Everyone loves to make fun of the Vita, but honestly, we didn't know what we were gonna lose. People who loved their Vitas, they were ahead of the curve. They were onto something. They knew better, and we made fun of them for it, and we shouldn't have. The Vita lovers were... I gotta admit it, I gotta hold that. The Vita lovers were right. They were right in concept, and in practice, actually. The Vita's a pretty good system. If you're a Vita enjoyer, there's a lot to like over there. I miss the true blue handheld, is what I'm getting at. Again, the Switch is nice. Sometimes I feel that spark from those days when I get to play something like Retro Game Challenge 1-2 replays. Like, those were distinctly DS games of the DS era. But then I end up playing something like, you know, Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon, where it's... Oh, you can see the cracks forming from this, like, weird, not really being sure what to do with the AAA dev environment. I liked parts of that game. Like, I do not think Scarlet Violet is completely hopeless, but also, it launched in such a fucking state. It's rough. It's undercooked. It's raw. Like, maybe it can... Like, I think the concept is actually pretty good. But everything else, like...
I said don't move. Stand
very
up
up
and
and
step
down.
away from
Very
the
up
girl.
and
This
down.
isn't what it looks like.
Stop talking. What have you done?
She was in an accident. I didn't do this.
Accident.
And then
Shut
it bows
the hell
out
up.
with,
You've been
like, the
feeding
best
this
final
bullshit
2
all night.
hours I've seen in the entire series.
Bastard.
It's fucked up. Scarlet and Violet is a game of such highs and lows. Like, it's sometimes I'm out there in the overworld, it's running at like 2 FPS. I'm mad. I'm having a shit time. And then it's like final 2 hours is fucking dynamite. It's like, oh. Huh. They can cook. But it's just a full 3D AAA game developer. Like, they don't know how to do it. It's not their workflow. And I don't blame them for it. I wouldn't know what the fuck to do either. I did like Legends Arceus a lot as well, actually. I thought Legends Arceus was a sharp re-examination of a lot of the fundamental tenets of Pokemon. But also, Legends Arceus is fucking ugly. You know? Like, I like that game, I think there's a lot of good ideas on display in that game, but also, it's such an ugly fucking game. It's not a looker. No, there's a guy right there! Oh, I hate it here. Oh my god, this sucks. I had to take a crap line, and there were like 5 million fucking dudes up there. There were dudes on the left, there were dudes on the right. It was all a bunch of shit. I streamed my entire playthrough of Legends Arceus. I liked it. I really did enjoy it, but it's a game based around, like, exploring the environment and seeing all the Pokemons out in the wild. You know, trying to find hidden new Pokemons in weird little gaps and crevices and stuff. And the big problem with that is that in an exploration-focused game, you need something to see. And this is one of the flaws of the development environment under which it was produced, in that Arceus is ugly. There is not much to see in these locations. Do you like the map that's full of swamp? I don't. It has an enjoyable core gameplay loop, but it would definitely be improved by, like, more striking environments, you know? Like, undoubtedly. Nice, there's red. Yellow, purple, pink. Yellow, purple, pink. Oh, no. No. Yellow, pink. Please. Yellow, pink. Yellow. My mortgage is riding on this. Pink! Pink! Show me pink! Right now! No! Okay, I'm gonna have to take out a second one of those. The economy is down. It's crashed. It's over. This one's a real fucking... It's all over the place. Hope ZA is good. I'm looking forward to whatever ZA is. I'm not very hopeful that it's going to look less ugly. Ah. Nice. Aside from missing the knob entirely at the start, that was pretty good. The safe, it looks like nothing when it goes well, but the safe is like the make or break part of this run. It's really easy to lose a lot of time from fucking up the safe. The Pokemon games deserve defending? I guess not. Like, you know, from the consumer perspective, there isn't really any reason to be sympathetic, but I think about the circumstances games would develop. I can't not, you know? I'm not trying to submit excuses, you know, at the end of the day. For instance, I really disliked Sword and Shield. I think Sword and Shield is actually kind of bad. In that context, I think fucking Scarlet Violet is a huge improvement. But I think Sword and Shield is crap. It's such a boring nothing game. Oh. The wild area was a neat idea that I wished they would expand. And they did, because Scarlet Violet now exists, and that's the idea, that's the concept, they expanded it. Good for them. They did what I wanted them to. Yeehaw. But I really, like, I lost my copy of Pokemon Shield on a train, and I've never bothered to rebuy it. I don't fucking care, I don't want to touch that game ever again. My favorite insane thing that Sword and Shield does is that you get an infinite use escape rope. because God forbid you have to manage resources in this resource management JRPG, so you can escape dungeons immediately and infinitely with the infinite use escape rope, right? There are no fucking dungeons in that game. There's like 2 total. Like, there's nowhere to use the infinite use escape rope. Maybe that's why they made it infinite use, because, like, it comes up so rarely that, like, you're gonna get caught on the back foot when it does randomly come up, like, fucking 20 hours in. I was making a broader point about the different stratas of development, how the handheld mid-tier development has ceased to exist, and how I think that's kind of been bad for the overall health of the industry. But I could absolutely talk about the specifics of Pokemon, because Pokemon's kind of like the pillar of this. But there's more specifics about Pokemon that I think has less to do with like the overall strata of development and more to do with the modern shift of the JRPG. Because, like, Pokemon is a very traditionally designed JRPG. It's about managing resources, like you have your items, your health, and your PP on your individual Pokemon moves. Mount Moon is like the classic dungeon, right? It's a long stretch where you cannot leave unless you die, and you must cross a large area via an uncertain number of fights and obstacles where you must manage your party to get to the end. That is the traditional, that is like the platonic JRPG kind of shit. That's how they worked back in the Famicom and Super Famicom kind of days, you know? And Pokemon was very much in that camp. It is a traditional JRPG. But nowadays, the modern JRPG isn't so much like that. Resource management and crossing large dungeons in one stretch aren't much of a feature of the genre anymore. People chafe against that kind of thing. The canary on the coal mine in this one is like Final Fantasy 13.
Lighthouse?
Because, like, in Final Fantasy X is a traditional game in this regard. It's very much about crossing dungeons. Whereas Final Fantasy 13, after you win a fight, you're restored to full health. You know, there's no management between the fights.
We're soulmates, you and I.
The individual fights essentially take place in a vacuum. This isn't good or bad, it's just different.
You're my wife?
But modern JRPGs increasingly trend in that kind of direction. More focus on the moment-to-moment combat system than the larger picture of resource management. In a way, I find JRPGs and survival horrors are actually quite similar. In how they emphasize resource management. What do I think of Like a Dragon's take on traditional RPG systems? I think they're great. This is why I really like those games. They actually are quite traditionally minded. They are unashamedly, fairly traditionally minded JRPGs, and I love them for that. They Trojan horsed the public into appreciating classic JRPG design, with a twist of its own. There aren't so many dungeons, though, but there are a handful. There are, like, enough that resource management is a thing. We fall here in FF13 because of how different the battle system is to previous titles. Yeah, but it's also just there's no resources to manage. It'd be pointless if they didn't, you know? Like, there's no MP in that game. You use your attacks if you have them. It's about timing, rather than resources. You know, why not just restore the player's health to full after every fight? There wouldn't be anything gained from doing so. From not doing so. You just force the player, like, to use the menu and click the cure button 3 times? Why would you do that? There's no reason to do that. It makes sense in the context of Final Fantasy 13, but the overall trend of JRPG has been away from that over time. With a couple of holdouts, and again, Yakuza becoming a traditional JRPG was that was not on my bucket list for, like, the series that was going to revive the classic JRPG and make people understand the merit of its type. But, I mean, I'm here for it. Big ups the Yakuza series for fucking picking up that torch. Like, other than that, there's Persona, which still does it the very classical way. Like, Persona games are abundantly games about resource management. That's, like, the core loop. Playing Persona 3 Reload a bit, you know, it's still as strict as ever when it comes to resource management. You can't get your SP back for nothing. It's hard. It's hard to restore that resource. As it should be. Makes you think. It's good. Gotta manage, gotta think, gotta plan. I like it when I have to make choices about stuff, and there are implications. Even SMT5 I found was light on this kind of design because it went in sort of the open world collectathon sort of direction. There are very few dungeons in SMT5 where you have to manage resources over like a longer period of time. Not that I think SMT5 is bad. But again, it's different. It's a different kind of JRPG. Has a different philosophy about it. There's still plenty of management in terms of like party selection and what have you. The joy of team construction in SMT is alive and well. But I think one of the key tenets of SMT is how you manage resources over a longer period of time, because SMT is a game characterized by a lot of abilities that are devastatingly powerful but very hard to use consistently. And I think sometimes in SMT5 you can kind of get away with, like, going crazy on random shit, because there's a save point over there, you can just get your... it's fine. Then again, I also thought SMT5 was kind of hard anyway, so maybe they did find the balance. I thought that game was kind of hard. I had a hard time finishing it. If only because the final set of bosses escalates in level dramatically, though. Like, it scales up so fast. You gotta be like level 80-something to finish that game. It's like, damn. I gotta kill a lot of dudes. Yeah, SMT Nocturne. Nocturne is a very traditional JRPG. Very traditional. That game's all about resources, all about the management, all about party management. And it's also bullshit. SMT3 is bullshit. Sometimes you die for no fucking reason. Where are the dudes? I sense dude. I knew it. I sensed him. Why would you be there? Shout out to the boss who can give himself infinite turns. They actually fixed that in the remaster, if you can believe that. That, as it turns out, was an AI bug, and it's fixed in the HD version. Mod is not supposed to be able to use Beast Eye more than once per turn. Him being able to do so is a bug, and it's fixed in the remaster.
You know, I think we're getting somewhere. We're all tied up in this marriage thing. Marriage worked a lot better when we didn't live so long. We have phrases like the honeymoon is over to remind us how quickly marriages sour.
I'm sad they fixed that. I'm not.
Divorce does that too.
I'm not. I think it's a very reasonable change, actually.
I think marriage can really last. Should a couple stay together?
But yeah, it was. It's like it's a classic part, you know.
Bad idea.
Sure, it was bullshit and made everyone angry, but we all got angry together.
After marriage. You know what?
Thoughts on Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2?
Expert on marriage.
I like them.
You're going
It's
to
very
ace
good opinion, Punchy, but no, I like them. I think I like them more than Nocturne, honestly.
All you have to do
Those
is
games
sort of
desperately need
make
remasters. They should absolutely. They should absolutely. I've been wanting them to remaster Digital Devil Saga and release them as like a pair for years.
All finished. Okay. Now tell me,
You cannot
which of
escape
those
your
couples
hunger.
are still together. I'm joking.
I think
You know
DDS
I'm
has a great middle ground between enjoying the strategic resource management and kit building of SMT games but streamlines like the part where you have to sort of like, you know, fuse demons and manage a party of a bunch of different dudes and what have you. Not that that part of the game is bad, but sometimes I find it exhausting. There's too many dudes.
John got to be king.
It's nice to have a fixed set of protagonists.
I was queen because I looked great.
And the story is interesting. And the music fucks. So like all of that checks out to me.
Right, Harry?
What?
Did I play Soul Hackers 2? I did not. Sorry.
Sorry if
Is it Soul Hackers 2? It's what you want, Punchy. Is it though? Maybe it is. Does Nocturne still do magnetite management? It does,
In my
yeah.
head, we might try and make this work. God, you are so different now.
Does it? No.
We are
Is
so
it magnetite or is it
different.
mucka? There is a resource to it.
Stop the car. Stop the damn car.
Jesus!
They might have just rolled it together.
Sorry, Harry.
I can't remember now. Why can't I remember?
Damn it!
Clearly I didn't think about it that hard.
Bitch! She wants me to go after her.
That was a bit janky. I think difficulty is a core element of RPGs. I think difficulty is a core element of games. Which isn't to say I think all games need to be incredibly difficult, per se. But, like, what is a game? Philosophically, a game has been defined as a voluntary attempt to overcome unnecessary obstacles. You know, these obstacles don't have to be incredibly challenging, but they do have to exist, for the most part. I know visual novels exist, and that sort of throws a wrench into this definitely. It's not like a super hard thing. We need not be applying as a strict barometer, like, to define a game. It's just a thought exercise.
I disagree.
Would you like to play a game, Punchy?
I would love to play video games. Edisac, thank you for the 31 months of Prime Gaming. Guys, if you have Prime Gaming, you get one free subscription to a Twitch streamer of your choice, and it should be me, because I'm cool, and I have the big thinks. I think games needing some friction is distinct from the idea that games need to be ball-busting, you know? Like, I do think challenge in some way is intrinsic to games. Like, challenge is a fundamental part of play. But how you define that can be very loose. Man, I'm playing is Shattered Memories like the hardest video game in the world? Not really, but you do need to do stuff. Like, it doesn't play itself. For instance, the friction here is getting the stupid fucking telescope in the right place. That went pretty well, actually. Hooray. Good. Yeah, and challenge necessarily means different things to different people.
In it now, I can almost taste it. All this talking, and we still haven't touched on the sex thing.
Like, one of the reasons that people, the JRPG, as I said, has moved away from its old style of design is that people tend to chafe against being slowly ground down over the course of a dungeon due to, like, not being on top of it, or just not being strong enough. Like, maybe you need to kill more monsters, man. People chafe against that as, like, grinding, and sometimes, yes, these old RPGs are kind of grinding. I'm a certified guy who likes the first Mother game, and even I, when I replay that game, and you pick up a party member and they join the party at level 1, I'm like, why the fuck does it do that? Why do you do that? Why do they join at level 1? So every time you pick up a new party member, you gotta go back to Magicant and grind for like 2 hours so you can get them to a usable fuck, because like level 1 Lloyd ain't gonna do shit. What are you doing?
Sex and death. Sex is death. It's a leap into the void, the great loss of self, the tiger in space, a plea for annihilation, to deny.
But also, it's
sex,
fun to fight
to
enemies and
deny
get stronger
death
and to like sort of
itself.
test the waters of a new area by like doing a couple, like you can do some practice fights around the area so you get a little stronger, level up, and then oh, you know, I'm beating these fights more easily now. I can make further headway in without draining my resources.
Are not getting enough.
It's about chipping away at the space bit by bit.
See this through to the end.
But a lot of people just see it as just grinding, you know, like just grinding. No, I think patience is a valid thing. It's a valid part of the challenge. Like, Dragon Quest II is considered to be a very difficult game, but it's a turn-based RPG. There's no execution. It's just hard because all the enemies fucking kill you. Everything in that game spawns in groups of 6s and they fucking murder you. But there is something to be said for the joy of chipping away at the hostile space. It's not a lesser kind of challenge, it's just different. See, challenge in video games, like, I'm gonna, like, go ahead and fucking quote Dan Olsen directly here, but I honestly think he put it best. He was so valid for this, but, like, challenge in video games biases towards tests of reflexes. You are generally tested on your ability to execute a complex sequence of inputs with precision. And by and large, you're expected to like that and appreciate it. That is more or less the gist of what Dan Olsen said in a video. I think it was about World of Warcraft. And he was right. He is right about that. Yay, I didn't get the slot machine bug. I'm winner. But I'm an RPG liker. And lots of people are. It's not the only kind of thing out there, but it is like the main thing people think of when they think of difficulty in a video game. And yeah, grinding can be tedious, definitely. But people often chafe against the very idea that, like, you might need to fight a dude to level up at all in a turn-based RPG, and it's like, well, isn't that part of the joy of the genre? To develop a character, to chip away at the space? By gradually testing your might against stronger and stronger foes? Like, it looks like grinding, sure, but it's also like a testing of your limits. Until you feel sure enough about your current stat line. So what are you doing? You're clicking through menus over and, well, yes, it's RPGs, I don't know. What do you want from me? It's how the genre works. It's how the loop works. And people do like that. It's like turn-based RPGs still persist to this very day because it never really, like, stopped appealing to some people. But the bigger budget RPGs, the JRPGs, they stopped being about that by and large and moved towards more sort of the Final Fantasy XIII kind of model where there's more focus on the intrinsic enjoyment of moment-to-moment combat with encounters that largely don't have much consequence on the next.
Harry, come back.
It's not necessarily bad, just different.
It's too late.
That's what
I love you, Harry.
Greater theory of JRPG. I don't really have like a point I'm driving at here, I'm just saying stuff. If I could, like, synthesize this into a coherent thesis, I probably have a YouTube video script, you know? Anyway, this is the end of the... Hello. We're waiting on the dudes. That guy just spawned, like, right there. I'm gonna walk over here. All aboard. All aboard, I said. All aboard. Nice. Rip to a real one. Rest in peace, Mason. The video I did on the MGS re-release was very good and well observed. I get a lot of shit for that video still because people don't really pay attention to the thesis properly. You know, they circle back to like, well, it's $15 and I could just emulate it on DuckStation. It's like, yeah, you could do that. You can just pirate stuff, I know. I'm perfectly aware of that. I, in fact, have Metal Gear Solid 1 on my DuckStation on my stupid little portable thing. It really feels like an issue of presentation. Like, that Clock Tower port that's coming out soon, Clock Tower Rewind, there's a lot of people I don't think they realize it's a SNES ROM. So I saw a lot of posts going around about how, like, the point-and-click game doesn't support pointing and clicking. It's like, yeah, it's a SNES game. It doesn't. Dickhead. I mean, it would be nice if they could, like, hack it in.
It's a world record!
Don't fucking count your chickens too soon. Jeez. 122! I win!
This is going nowhere.
Yes!
But you're not listening.
It's a world record!
How you
It's a world record!
Your denial of death.
It's a world record!
Guilt.
Mine! Mine!
18 years of denial.
It's a world record!
Universe of fantasy in that thick skull of yours.
Yes! After what a shit session this was.
It's a world
I feel like
record!
I deserve that.
Pale freaks.
It's a world record!
Home movies on loop.
It's a world record!
I'm making victory tweet.
It's a world record!
It is a world record.
A young girl. Her parents don't get along. She blames herself, as all children do.
It's a world record!
What's a girl to do? Deny that daddy.
Oh God! Oh God!
Deny who daddy was. What 7-year-old actually knows who their parents are anyway? So she obsesses and obsesses over the fantasy dad propping up her make-believe with scraps of a happy life that never was, scraps of a father who
Yoink.
never existed. Wake up!
Victory tweet. Victory tweet. And now, the streamer is going to go to the bathroom because he needs to pee again.
A human being. You never knew him. And you never will. The dad walking around in your head isn't even a ghost. He never existed. A Frankenstein's monster, a child's fantasy. But you're alive. Your mother is alive. She's not the monster you make her out to be. You need to live your life. Cheryl.
Why did you have to die? It wasn't my fault. Someone has to take the blame.
Forget me.
the hell are you filming me for? Am I supposed to dance for you? Be a good girl for Daddy. Go get him another drink, will you? Now, give me a damn beer. No wonder I drink with a family like this.
In your mind's eye lives a memory hard to find.
I'm muted. No. Forgot to unmute myself. I muted myself when I went to the bathroom and forgot to unmute myself. God damn it. That's always really embarrassing. No one heard my trenchant insight into the current geopolitical affairs of the day. No, I was reading Medin's post in the YouTube chat. If they hacked mouse controls into Clock Tower, the game would probably look like those old Miss speedruns. Someone did hack mouse controls into SNES Clock Tower, like as a fan thing. Boomer moment. I forget to, like, I used to not mute myself when I get up from the computer to go whiz. And then I started muting myself because, I don't know, I thought it made it funnier when I became Bunny to leave. Like, I do this now. Like, I go, I am Bunny, and then I mute the microphone. But then I forget to turn the microphone back on. And I'm still Bunny. Congrats on the victory, Piss. Thank you. We gotta sit through the credits, because, we gotta see the box of crap at the end. Looking at the story of this game and what a strange and depressing end no matter which one you get, huh? Yeah. I honestly don't really think this game has multiple endings. It's got ending variants at best. Next Silent Hill Homecoming? No. I don't know that speedrun. In your mind's eye lives a memory hard to find. Do you not count as a different ending? No.
Congratulations on the WR. And more importantly, congrats with getting your own achievement.
Pryogot, thank you for the £10. Thanks for the congrats. Yeah, if you didn't see me tweeting about this, on the Retro Achievements website, someone made a set for Uno Deluxe, like, at some point in the past few months. And one of the achievements is, like, explicitly named after me. It's the achievement for beating Terumi, the demon child. The achievement name is Punchy's Nightmare. It's like, okay. Glad you liked the video. That's the third thing I've seen on that website that's explicitly based off me. Or rather, that one's the most, like, blatantly. Like, that one's even got my name, like, my handle in it. But I've seen at least 2 other things on the website that are clearly a result of people being inspired by something I did. Like, there's an achievement for Ghoul Panic that no one has for finishing the adventure mode in under 5 minutes. I'm the only one who's done that. The guy clearly looked at the speedrun leaderboard, saw my time, and went, that'll do. I'm the only person who has a sub 5 in that game, because I'm, like, the only one who's done it. Not that many people run Ghoul... I don't think it's a crazy hard thing to do. Ghoul Panic isn't that difficult of a run, but at the same time, no one's done it besides me, so, like, shrug. Ah, maybe I'm just cracked. I don't think so. There's only, like, 2 people have ran that game. I'd have made it, like, 8 minutes. That's more reasonable. Like, it's a short game. Maybe 10. I don't know, it doesn't matter that much. 5 is tight, though. Like, it's not free. Hey, Hero, did you get here on a world record? You did. You got here on a world record, and you got here on the first 122 all Mementos speedrun. Now, I can dunk this game in the bin and never play it ever again. He said, knowing he will play it again in, like, a few months, tops. Because, like, that wasn't... I could definitely still get more out of that run. 122 isn't, like, the peak or anything. But, you know, 122. Isn't that nice? Next game to speedrun? I don't know. Maybe I'll... Actually, let me look at something. Not yet. Not yet. I'm thinking. I'm not going to let you know what I'm thinking, but I'm thinking about stuff. You can play it for GDQ for Dices or something. I was on the hotfix for this, like, this week. So that's already come and gone. And my split saved. I think I donked the next split button. Box of crap. Level 99 for FF7 in the first reactor. Ah, yeah, really commit to, like, the grindiest of the grinds for no reason. It's time for Borderlands 2. I don't even own that game on PC. What are you on about? You can fix that. No.